Hello friend, welcome back to my channel. Today video we are going to learn about the WebLogic new version. WebLogic has released the new version, WebLogic server 14.1.2, and in this feature they have added many new features. And before working on the new version of WebLogic, we need to understand what all the new changes they have done in this version. So first of all, this version is coming with the support of new JDK. So JDK 17 and 21 is officially certified and they are supported version of WebLogic new version. See, in many changes itself. So JDK 17 basically introduces many new features in terms of optimizations and bug fixing that enhance the performance and stability of our applications. Also, we will see in new JDK versions, they have done the improvement in better garbage collection, enhancement to the JIT compiler, and improved class data sharing. That lead to faster startup times and better overall performance. And this JDK version basically support the default garbage policy that is G1 garbage policy. Another changes we will see related to the manageability. So they have improved some manageability features as well. So Oracle WebLogic 14c basically comes to provide a new management features that simplify the configuration, monitoring, and ongoing management of WebLogic server domain and application. In this version, we will see the new graphical tool to manage the domain configuration of WebLogic administration server, and that graphical tool is WebLogic Remote Console. So now using the WebLogic Remote Console, from this console we can manage and administer multiple domains from one single console. The current WebLogic graphic console is no more supported and we are not going to use from this version onwards. So that graphical tool is going to remove. And another change we will see related to the upgrade process. They have also improved their upgrade process. Now we will see they have added a new upgraded tool that simplify and automate the upgrade of WebLogic applications. And we will see they have added a tool called WebLogic Migration Analysis Tool. And that tool basically identify classes and API that are no longer used so that we can address any changes required for the application to successfully deploy. And that tool is basically very helpful for the developer to identify their application if they are using any older version of libraries which is no longer used in, and which is no longer supported by this new version of WebLogic. And also we will see another tool that helps the developer to migrate the existing application to the latest version of WebLogic and Java. So that is the open rewrite tool. So open rewrite resize is basically simplify the migrating our WebLogic application to the new version of WebLogic and Java. So we will our developer can use this tool in their code folder using the Maven or Gradle CLI, or they can use this as a build plugin in the pom.xml file. Okay, so another changes we will see in terms of the runtimes. They have also improved their runtimes. So WebLogic 14c now builds on support from the prior WebLogic server version to improve the reliability, availability, scalability, and performance of WebLogic application server with regard to the use of clustered environments and Oracle database features, multi-data center architectures. And they have also done many changes in terms of securities, Jakarta messaging, JDBC data source, and also added a intelligent load balancing feature. So that helps the runtime improvements. In security, we will see many changes what they have done. So first of all, they have added a new security mode, that is secure production mode. So WebLogic basically provides different security modes. Okay, so different domain mode that determine the default setting for security. So when we create a domain, we will choose which mode we need to go with. So we will see the development mode, production mode, and secure production mode. So development mode is a least secure mode, and secure production mode is a most secure production mode. As of Oracle WebLogic 14c, we will select the production mode, and it automatically enable the more secure default setting of secure production mode. And also we will see some changes in terms of domain CA. So they have added a per domain CA. Now WebLogic 14.1.2 comes with the domain-wise certificates. And that basically demonstrates certificate authority to provide a more secure key store implementation. So demo C is now unique to each new domain rather than shared across all installation of WebLogic server. Additionally, the identity and trust key stores are now in PKCS 12 format. So before that, they comes in a JKS format. Now it is PKCS format. Also, they have changed the validity period. And the another change we will see that is related to WLST support for two-way TLS. So if we want to enable a uh, connect our WebLogic server using the WLST, okay, so that will enable us to connect using a two-way TLS. As I mentioned, they have removed some features also. Okay, so they have the WebLogic server administration console is no longer supported, and they have removed it. Now we will use a remote WebLogic remote console. And also Log4j. Log4j basically is having many vulnerabilities, and now in this feature they have removed the Log4j V1. So now I'll show you how we can download the latest version of WebLogic from the Oracle site. For downloading the Oracle WebLogic server and the JDK supported JDK versions, we need to go to the edelivery.oracle.com site, and we need to log in with our login credentials. Once we will log in, we will see this page, and here we can search for the product. So it will basically having all the WebLogic or we can say Oracle product. So we want to download the Oracle WebLogic server. So we will select for the WebLogic application server. So here we see Oracle WebLogic Server 14c. We'll choose this one and search for it. Okay, once we search, we will see the related products here, and we will look for the Oracle WebLogic 14.1.2 version, which basically we want to download. Here we will see Oracle WebLogic Server 14.1.2 version, and we will add this in a cart. So I have selected this and added in cart. Now I'll look for the JDK also, Oracle JDK. And once we will choose, select Oracle JDK, we'll see the output over here, and we can choose the required JDK. So we will see that JDK 23 is the latest JDK released by Oracle, and it support the 17 and 21 also, and JDK 23 as well. So we can download the JDK 23, that is the latest one. Now we will go in the view items. We will see what all the product we have. selected here Oracle JDK 23 and Oracle WebLogic Server 14 1.2. And we will continue and download these two products. Now here we will see it is asking for the platform, for which platform you want to download this particular software. So we can download for all software, all platforms or a specific platform. So if you want to download for Windows, we can choose the Windows. If you want to download for Linux, we can choose the Linux. Okay. So I will show the demonstration on Windows now, and later we will cover the demonstration on Linux as well. So I'll download for Windows, and similarly for WebLogic software also, I'll choose the Windows and I'll go and download. Uh, since I have already downloaded these two softwares, I'm not going to continue and download now, but this is the way we can download the products. Okay. Okay, so once we downloaded the required software, both JDK and WebLogic binaries, we will see the download is completed and we can place the downloaded files in any folder of our servers or our laptop, and I have unarchived the files and their JDK 23 we will see, and once we unarchive this file we will see the JDK in Windows installer format is also there and a compressed zip files also there. So on Windows both can work here. Okay, and this JDK file is a compressed file, and we will take this file and we can place in our install wherever we want to install or keep our JDK. So for now I have placed that JDK 23.02 here in D drive WLS demo, and this is my Java path. Okay, and also we will see the WebLogic 14.1.2 version, and I have uh, unarchived that one also and place it in here. So after unarchiving that file, we will see one jar file, and that is a executable jar file for WebLogic binaries. Okay, so our softwares are fine now. We have downloaded and placed on a required path. Now we will open our CMD and make sure the CMD we have open as a administrator. If we are not opening as a administrator, we will get it issues like that. Okay, if we run without administrator, it will not launch the installer of WebLogic. Okay, so we make sure we are opening the CMD as a administrator, and we can go to the path of WebLogic. Sorry, for Java, and this is my Java home path, and I will run the Java, then hyphen jar, and the jar file which we have unarchived from the WebLogic binaries file. Okay, and that is the an executable jar file for WebLogic. I'll run the command and you'll see it going to launch a one graphical tool for installing the WebLogic, and that tool is look like similar which we have used before for installation of WebLogic older version, and let it launch. It's okay, so it's going to launch Oracle Fusion Middleware 14C WebLogic installer. So this installer is similar to the WebLogic older version of 14C, and here we will see our welcome page is open, and we will follow the same steps which we followed before, and we'll click on the welcome Next, we will go from welcome to the auto update. We can skip the auto update as of now. We will choose the Oracle WebLogic Home here. Okay. So I'm going to use a new path this time for as a Oracle Home for installation of our Oracle binaries, and we will go to the next page. Here you will see the WebLogic. It is asking for option which binaries or software you want to install. You want to install WebLogic or Current. So we are going with the WebLogic server install, and it is checking the operating system's prerequisites and Java version prerequisites, right? Since, as I mentioned, this version of WebLogic is coming with JDK 17 and 21. These are the certified JDK. And for now, I have downloaded that JDK 23. So this is giving me exception. Okay. So what is okay? It's just giving the exception that this JDK is not a certified JDK, and the expected JDK it is 17, and we are using 23. But 23 JDK will work for this installation also. Okay, that's it. And then we will see the summary page, installation summary, and we will click on the install. And once we click the installation, we would be able we will see the installation is completed. And after that, we can create our domains. Okay. So this time, okay, no, so let me try to install because I have already installed this version. So it's going to show the installation path which I have already installed, but it's okay. I have choose a different one. So I install this time also. So it's going to install, and you will see the steps here which it's going to use. So first prepare, then copy, then let it complete. It is just 0% now, and I'll pause the video. So once the installation is completed, we will see the installation binaries and installation files in the installation path. And now we'll go to the CMD, and we'll go to the path Oracle Home, then Oracle Common bin. And from here we will run the config.cmd file, and that will launch the domain creation wizard. And here we will see how to create a domain in a for the new WebLogic server. Okay, so this is the WebLogic welcome wizard, and this is quite similar, which was there for previous version of WebLogic 14c. And here we can choose whether we want to create a domain or want to update the domain. So we'll go with creation of the domain, and we'll next page it asks for the template. We'll go with the default template. Okay, so here it will ask for the security credentials. We will provide the username and password. So any desired username and password we can put here. And after putting the password, we'll go to the next domain mode and JDK page. So here, as I mentioned, so there you will see the difference in 14.1.2 version and 14.1.1 version of previous 14c version. So it is showing options domain mode, so development and production. So when we choose the production mode, it by default choose the secure mode. Okay, if you want to disable the secure mode, we can choose the disable mode, or if you want to go with the development mode, so it will go with the development mode. Okay, if we choose the production mode over here, so it will by default select the secure production mode also. If but here it's giving me option if you want to disable this one. If you don't want to disable, so by default it will provide a secure production mode. And secure production mode basically includes the enabling SSL port and SSL port and the administration port and other security related settings also. And enabling or disabling default port for your domain, that also option it is giving. If you want to enable administration port SSL or not, so that option we can choose over here. So by default, it is going to enable SSL listen port for administration and admin server as well. And it will not listen the non-SSL ports here by default. But if you want to make enable listen port also, we can choose it over here. Then we'll go with the next option. And that for testing also, but by default, that is a good thing. We will go with the secure listen port. And now it is going to give advanced configuration page where we can choose our admin server setting and modify and node manager also and any topology we want to modify. Or else we'll go with the create domain option. So now it's going to create a domain. So let the domain get created. Once the domain is created, I'll launch the WebLogic server and we'll see how we can connect to the WebLogic server. Oracle WebLogic server configuration wizard is completed and success. And we will finish the configuration wizard now. I'll go to the domain path, go back to the domain folder. Here projects, domains. Here I have created domain. So now I'll launch the WebLogic. Start WebLogic. Okay. So this is going to start a WebLogic server. And here it is asking for the credential which you have choose while creating the domain. You need to put the same credential which we have given while creating the domain. Okay. So our WebLogic server is going to start and we will see the some changes over here. If we have not choose the non-SSL port, so it will not listen on 700 port. Okay, it will listen on 7002 port. But now we have choose the non-SSL port, so non-SSL port is also binded and launched. You'll see our server has started and now I will go. I'll go to the browser and try to access a console. Okay, so let me go to the browser and try to access the console. I will copy this IP. This is my server or laptop IP basically. Okay, and slash console. Okay. Okay, so we will see. Okay, so we will see over here when we created a domain in a secure mode or in a production mode. So by default, secure mode is enabled, and that basically add more security features. So that is one of them. We'll see here. So when we created domain, our admin server is also created, and admin server port we have choose 70001 non-SSL and 70002 is SSL port. Now we will see that those ports 70001 and 70002 ports are not accessible from outside of the server, from WebLogic server. If you want to connect the console or WebLogic administration APIs, there is another port or domain administration port is launched, and that is 9000 port, secure port. So this admin ports APIs basically is reachable on this port, 9000 port. 70002 or 70001 is no longer reachable from the console. And we will see when we launch this, try to access the console, we will see WebLogic 14 1.2 servers welcome page is launched, and it is clearly mentioned that administration WebLogic server is performed using a remote console. Okay, and original admin console is no longer supported in WebLogic 14.1.2 and has been removed. If we want to administer this server or want to manage this server, we need to launch our WebLogic remote console. We can go and download our WebLogic remote console. The documentation and download link is there. We will go here and download our WebLogic remote console. Okay, so there is a WebLogic remote console downloadable GitHub page is there, and required version of WebLogic remote console we can download over here. Since I have already downloaded and I have already launched, and for Windows also it is available, and Linux also it is available, and I download the Windows version and I have launched it. So this is a WebLogic remote console looks like, and we can add the console's API over here. So add admin server connection providers. Okay, and I have already added that connection provider over here. You can see here, and also if we want to add the console APIs again, if you want to, we can click on the add admin server connection provider, and here we need to provide a name. Okay, demo WebLogic server console host demo, and the WebLogic credential over here, which we have choose during the domain creation. Okay, and the path. So whether it is listening on localhost 7001 or different one. If it is not, then we will change it. But if I choose here localhost 7001, it's not going to connect. Let me use 7002 and HTTPS. Instead of localhost, I'll go with this IP because on this IP it is binded. Yeah. Template unable to find valid certification path to request target. Okay. So basically, we are connecting a secure target, and for secure target, if you want to connect, we need to make a SSL handshake successfully. But now I'm going to ignore that part. I have not added the certificate and the logic remote console, so I'm skipping that part. Make in secure connection. And now we see WebLogic remote console, and it is connected to our domain. WebLogic server console for demo, and we will see the domain name and all over here. Once it is the once we will see the four option over here. I'll s- I'll make a separate sessions on WebLogic remote consoles walkthrough, where we will try to understand what all these four options are there: edit tree, configuration view tree, monitoring tree, and security data tree. If we want to just view the uh, configurations and domain details, so we can go with